Good day, friends. Welcome to Voice of the Colonies. I am Mercy Otis Warren, bringing you the stories of our struggle for liberty for this first week of October, 1775. Brought to you by...
Forget gold, try Continental Currency, the official paper of hope and occasional purchasing power. Printed by patriots, blessed by Congress, and accepted everywhere optimism is legal tender. Each note is a promise, and sometimes that's enough. Spend it proud and spend it fast before inflation catches you. Continental Currency, faith-based finance for a faith-filled revolution.
Gather close, for there is much to tell. Mud, muskets, rumors, even a touch of cider. First, we go to the front lines. Let us begin far to the north, where General Richard Montgomery and his weary men are still trying to win the siege of Fort St. John in Quebec. What began with big hopes now drags on with rain, muck, and endless complaints about the lack of heavy artillery. The British garrison, aided by Canadian loyalists, clings stubbornly to the post. Word is also spreading that native allies have joined the King's cause, creating plenty of anxiety in our camp. But there are reinforcements from New England trickling in, keeping our hopes alive. And Montgomery himself writes of the slow progress, but he does not yield. Meanwhile, at sea, our privateers are proving themselves most useful. New England captains, clever and daring, have harassed His Majesty's supply ships bound for Quebec. One rumor claims that a British vessel carrying arms and provisions, supplies that General Washington desperately needs, was captured right off our coast. If true, it's yet another embarrassment for the Royal Navy, who seem more skilled at puffing out their chests than guarding their precious transports. Boston Harbor, too, remains a cauldron of tension. British warships patrol while Colonial coastal militia fire upon tenders that try to seize livestock and hay. Fishermen curse the King's ships for stealing their boats and ruining their livelihoods. And on Lake Champlain, both sides scramble for advantage. The British strain to push reinforcements into Canada by water, while our men hammer together makeshift boats. New York militia march northward, clogging the roads around Albany and Lake George. Their presence, both a blessing and a strain. We'll be back after this.
Good folks of Hingham, autumn calls not just for harvest, but for harmony. Join us in hearing from the Sons of Liberty songbook with stirring airs like Yankee Doodle and Chester. Your family may drive off gloom and redcoats alike. Gather by the fire, lift your voice, and let the King hear your chorus all the way across the sea. The Sons of Liberty songbook, because liberty sounds better in tune.
When it comes to politics and leadership, while battles rage without, debates rage within. Behind closed doors, Congress discusses much. How to send more men north into Canada. Benjamin Franklin busies himself with Pennsylvania, stockpiling arms and drilling militia. And as we progress more into what seems to be a war, more questions arise. What to do with captured redcoats and loyalists? Shall they be paroled, exchanged, imprisoned? Each answer shapes not just our policies, but our character as a people. Yet not all battles are fought with muskets or cannon. Some are fought in the marketplace. Congress's Continental dollars, newly printed with such optimism, are already raising suspicion. Some merchants hesitate to accept them, muttering that they're little more than paper promises. And with committees of safety enforcing boycotts of British goods, households are feeling the pinch doubly. Cloth is scarce, gunpowder dear, and the loss of tea has left many kitchens in dismay. On the home front, while men are at war, the women are not sitting idle when it comes to security. In towns from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts, they organize neighborhood watches, they drill with muskets, and they brew up Liberty Tea, made of raspberry leaves, sassafras, or mint. Now, these substitutes may not have the delicate taste of imported leaves, but they are sipped with pride. And in kitchens across New England, herbal medicines are prepared in place of imported cures. Folk remedies and old recipes take on new importance, for trade with Britain falters more each day. Committees continue to post names of loyalist merchants, and neighbors are whispering suspicions of hidden arms and hoarded powder. Some houses are searched, to the shock of the families inside. And fall weddings? They're being held, but they're simpler these days, for who can afford silks or imported wine? And all the while, autumn frost creeps in early. Farmers bring in their apples, pumpkins and corn, with both gratitude and dread. Will it be enough for their households and for the militia families whose men march north? Apple cider mills groan with the season's press, filling barrels and mugs across New England. Too much cider, some say, finds its way into the camp, for drunkenness is not unknown among the soldiers. Local committees scold, but really, what can you do when a weary man sees a mug of cider as his one bit of comfort? So here we stand, my friends. Mud at St. John's, British ships in our harbors, neighbors whispering about one another's loyalties, and a Congress trying to pay for a war with paper that some already doubt. Yet, there is spirit, there is ingenuity, and there is faith. Thank you for joining me. If you wish to hear more of these tales, then I invite you to subscribe and return again as I update the news next week. There are many more stories yet to come, and I shall be here to share them with you.